Hello and welcome to the Dream Team Professor podcast. It's Wednesday the 23rd of November and today's another match day recap from the World Cup where we take a look at the top point scorers for the day, any key talking points from the games, and then we'll just preview tomorrow's fixtures, looking at who the best players to target might be. And then I'll just do a quick update on how my team's getting on. So we'll start with Morocco versus Croatia, which finished 0-0. So you had the clean sheet points go around here. Lovren got the star man in this game. I can't imagine many people would have had him in their team. But I know that Sousa was fairly popular. He got 8 points and a 7.1 rating. And Modric was quite unlucky. He got 6.9. Also Gvardiol, who I tipped in the last video, he actually finished with a 6.9 rating as well, so really close to getting that 7 but just not quite there, so he got a 5 in total. Perisic was a player that I had in a couple of my teams and he really did nothing in this game. He got 6.6 rating. Had one sort of pop shot early on, and I had a look at the stats as well, and he only managed one cross, so not very involved at all. And I thought he'd be pretty good in that more advanced role, but really did nothing in this game. But Hakimi, for the other side, Morocco, he looked quite good in this game. He had quite a good shot from long distance where they sort of laid off a free kick. And for Morocco, he had the most touches and put 2 crosses in, but probably still not someone that I'm going to target going forward. But as you can see, from an attacking point of view, there wasn't really much going on in this game, point scorer wise. Modric, I put down in the notes that he was taking all the set pieces, corners. I knew he was the main set piece taker and the penalty taker. I did think that possibly Perisic would be taking some corners as well, but it was pretty much all Modric. Then we move on to the Germany-Japan game, and this was a massive upset. So Germany were 1-0 up quite early on with Gundogan penalty, and he actually went to get star man in this game, so 13 points for him. He actually also hit the post as well, so quite attacking considering he was sort of playing as one of 2 holding defensive midfielders, but at 4.5 million could still be a fairly good option, potentially when they play Costa Rica, but you'll see later on in the video, I'm not really fancying him against Spain because they looked really good. But yeah, hit the post and 4.5 million. He could be a good one to target for the Costa Rica game, but we'll wait and see. I only watched the highlights for this one, but I thought Germany were looking pretty good up until about the 70th minute. And then Japan made quite a lot of changes, but 2 of the changes that they brought on went on to score in the 75th and 83rd minute, which was Asano that used to play for Arsenal. He got the winner, and a massive upset really. So that's going to be quite damaging to Germany really, because they play Spain in the next game, who looked really good in their game against Costa Rica. And I was just thinking, if Japan end up beating Costa Rica and Germany can't beat Spain, they're not going to have much chance of getting through the group, which seems crazy really in a group with Germany and Spain. But yeah, that's the way it's gone. Yeah, I'm not really sure where it went wrong for Germany, really. I did see Rudiger showboating a bit earlier in the game, so maybe they got a little bit complacent. But overall, from what I saw from the highlights, they did look fairly good. But yes, Japan managed to turn that one around, and bad result for Germany. The only other real point scorers to show was had Raum, who won the penalty. So he got 4 points because he got 7 rating as well. But other than that, it was Serge Gnabry that got 3 points for a 7 rating, and Kimmich that got a 7 rating. But other than that, Misalia, he got a 6.2 rating. I know he was fairly popular, and they did start with Havertz up front as well, but he didn't manage to get on the score sheet. Then I'll quickly just share the how they lined up if you didn't get to see the game or hadn't seen it so far. You had Serge Gnabry on the right, Salia on the left, and Muller in the centre attacking midfield role, and then Havertz up front. One thing to note though, I was sort of saying I wasn't sure whether Gnabry or Sane would have been a better option on the wings, but actually I heard that Sane was slightly injured, and you could probably tell because they made quite a lot of changes and Sane didn't come on at all. So yeah, I'm not sure. You have to keep an eye out if he's going to be in the next games. Then on to the Spain-Costa Rica game, and God, Spain looked really, really good in this. So 7-0. Actually saw a clip of Gary Neville before the game saying didn't think that Spain really had any goal scorers in the side. So he kind of got proved wrong here with this 7-0. So you had Olmo got a goal and an assist. It's going to take a while to get through these, but I'll start with Olmo. So Olmo got the star man. He got a goal and an assist. He looked really good in this game. You had Jordi Alba though. He got an assist for one of the early goals. And he also got the 2 points. It doesn't show as an assist there on the ratings, but he got an assist for the penalty win as well, which was put away by Ferran Torres. So he scored from the penalty spot and grabbed another goal. He had Morata, who didn't start. He got a goal and an assist from coming on. He had Gavi, I think it is, in midfield. So he scored a goal, and he's only 3 million. And I think that could be quite a bargain. He scored a goal, and then he was unlucky not to get an assist because he sort of chipped a ball through and it hit a defender. So that doesn't count as his assist. But it was quite unlucky because it was quite clearly intended for him. You had Soler, who got a goal. Asensio got a goal, and he was playing as a false nine. So they're bringing back that old false nine that they've been doing quite a while. I remember when Fabregas done that in one of the other previous World Cups. So he was playing false nine. We expected Morata would probably start as striker, or at least I did, but it looks like Asensio will probably do that again. Another thing that was quite strange, you had Rodri start at centre back, which I wasn't expecting. They had quite a few good centre back options, but they started with Laporte and Rodri at centre back. They managed a clean sheet, so no complaints. And then you had Azpilicueta actually that started at right back as well, and I think I heard in the pre-match that was because Carvajal, they said he had either some sort of flu or cold, and apparently the manager blamed the aircon. But yeah, Azpilicueta started at right back, and obviously he got 8 points for the clean sheet and a 7 rating. I think that's just about covered all the main point scorers. But yeah, it was that Gavi that I highlighted. If you were looking for a sort of cheaper option at 3 million, I mean, I've gone with Højbjerg, which didn't quite work out. And some of those other 3 million slots that are a bit cheaper haven't really worked so far. So Gavi, if he's going to be in a team that's scoring quite a lot of goals or quite attacking, he could be a quite good option there. One other thing that surprised me as well, so I was kind of thinking the wingers, I'll move on to how they lined up actually, but I was kind of expecting the wingers could potentially be either Ansu Fati or Sarabia, but neither of them started, and neither of them come on either. They had quite a lot of options, and neither of the two came on. So it was Olmo from the left, Asensio was like a false nine, and Ferran Torres on the right. So quite surprising, but done really well. So I imagine they'll probably line up fairly similar. Then you had the Belgium-Canada game. So it finished 1-0 to Belgium, but Thibaut Courtois got the star man in this one, and he saved the penalty from Alphonso Davies. Made some really good saves in this game actually, and yeah, Canada really did give Belgium a good game in this. So yeah, they're probably not going to be someone to target actually, because they did look fairly good. If they'd have put some of their chances away, it could have been a different game. But yeah, surprising really. It's quite a aging side really. Vertonghen and Alderweireld still playing at centre back. But Alderweireld got an assist. It was literally a route one ball straight through to Batshuayi, who he actually tipped at 3 million was a good option with Lukaku out injured. So good to see him get on the score sheet. I didn't take a punt on him myself, so a little bit gutted there, but you can't put everyone on a tip. And then 8 points, so he got 8 points and a 7.2. Kevin De Bruyne, I thought, seemed pretty quiet, but he managed to get the 7 rating anyway. I don't think it was so much that he was quiet, it was just the players around him really weren't getting on anything. Eden Hazard played. We thought he'd start, but actually he hadn't played much in the league, and he only went on to play sort of 60-ish minutes. So yeah, it's probably not worth bringing him in your team because it just limits how many points they're going to score. And then Meunier, I thought would have started at wing back. I'll move on to the starting lineup again for this team. But yeah, they had Carrasco and Castane as the wing backs. The predicted lineup that Who Scored had was Carrasco and Meunier, but Castane started on one, but Meunier come on anyway, so still got the clean sheet points. And then one thing I did know actually, I'll just quickly go back a slide, but Dendoncker here, it's showing that he only got 3 points, even though that Belgium did get the clean sheet. But I think I saw someone say on Twitter that this was happening. I think it happened with Dumfries and Blind earlier on in the World Cup. I think it's because Who Scored have them down as a midfielder, but the Sun Dream Team game has him as a defender. But it will get resolved, and I imagine he'll get 8 points in total by the end of the day, or maybe tomorrow. Right, and then we'll just move on to the teams to target tomorrow, the matches that are going to be played tomorrow. So you've got Switzerland, Cameroon, Uruguay versus Korea, Portugal versus Ghana, and Brazil versus Serbia. So I'm quite looking forward to seeing what Brazil produce now. But we'll start with the Switzerland game. So I've put both lineups here. This is just a who scored predicted lineup. So Switzerland, I quite expect them to be the favourites in this game, but I do think it'll be quite close. I was looking at some of their previous results for Cameroon, and they have been fairly good recently. Mbolo looks quite a good option up front if you're looking for someone a bit cheaper. He's 3.5 million. He's got 7 goals and 2 assists in League One. So could be a fairly cheap option for you if you're looking for like a third striker to fit in your team. Quite surprised to see Shaqiri still in the team. He seems like he's been in that squad for ages. He's playing in the MLS at the minute, and he got 7 goals and 6 assists. But they are I think they're at the end of their season. It was over across quite a lot of games. But he's a good set piece taker. He used to be on everything, so he has got that in his locker, but I'm not sure I'd really go there. But Rodriguez at left back, I've seen a lot of people saying, and I did have a look through to sort of verify it as well, and he's their penalty taker. So at 3 million in the defence, I think most of their defenders were 3 million. So if you are looking to put one of their defenders in, it makes sense to really bring him in, because there's been quite a lot of penalties so far in the World Cup. So to get a penalty taker at 3 million, it's a really good option. Like I said, I normally do only put the preview of sort of one team who I think is going to be the favourite. Might change when it's like Spain versus Germany or the knockout stages. But for this game here, Switzerland, Cameroon, there's quite a lot of sort of Premier League or well-known players in this Cameroon predicted lineup with Mbeumo, you've got Choupo-Moting, Toko Nkambi, and Onana. I think he's the one that used to be in goal. I'm not sure if he's moved, but he was in goal for Ajax as well. But I highlighted Choupo-Moting's got 6 goals and 2 assists this season. But the only thing I did see on Who Scored, they do a little preview on there, and it said that Cameroon had lost their last 6 World Cup games, and they finished bottom of their group in the last 2 World Cups. So if history's anything to go by, Switzerland should be able to do a job on them. Then you've got Uruguay versus South Korea. So I've highlighted Darwin Núñez, so he's 5 million. And I think I said in one of my earlier videos when I was doing the best players and teams to target, he actually hasn't played that much for Uruguay. He was at the sort of youth level, but he hasn't played for the main team that regularly. But he's been really dangerous for Liverpool, and I think that he'll be quite a good option to target at 5 million. And then they've got Luis Suarez still up front, so those two are going to be quite a pair. But he's got 8 goals in qualifying so far, so could still be an option, but I don't think he's quite as good as he used to be. And then you've got Valverde as well. I said that I'm not really sure how attacking he'll be. Obviously for Real Madrid he does pretty well, so he's got 9 goals for Real Madrid this season. I think he's only got 4 goals for Uruguay at international level. But there's quite a defensive midfield with Bentancur, Torreira and Valverde, so maybe he might get a bit more licence to get forward. So he could be a fairly good option, but I do think 4.5 million is probably a bit expensive. You can get like Bruno Fernandes, I think, for the same price. So I probably won't be bringing him into my team, but he has scored a fair amount of goals, so it could be someone to consider. And then from Korea, the only guys that I would really highlight, but I do think that Uruguay should win this game. You've got Son from Spurs, and you've got Hwang Hee-chan from Wolves as well. If you do fancy the upset, there's been a few of those, so maybe you might want to take a risk. But yeah, I'm fancying Uruguay for this one. And then on to Portugal. So again, this is their Who Scored predicted lineup. There's a few bits that I think might be a bit questionable here, but they've got Bruno Fernandes. I think he's probably going to be the best person to target in my opinion. 4.5 million. I just think that's quite a underpriced player really. Like Valverde's that price, and there's been a few 5 million players that I was surprised by. But I think he'd be underpriced, and 2 goals in his last warm-up game as well. And I think his form's been a bit better for Man United recently, so I think I'd target him. You have obviously got Ronaldo, so 7 million, and he's always going to be a great option for goal scoring. Don't worry about the not pressing nonsense. He's all good. But just the only thing to think about is whether or not his head would be all right after this recent sacking and the interview and everything. But personally, I'd still back him as a good option to score goals in this tournament. And then you've got I've put down Diego Dalot, but he's one of the ones that I'm quite surprised at actually, because I would have thought he would have started, but they've got Mendes at left back and Cancelo at right back in this who scored predicted lineup. So obviously wait till the lineups come out and you can decide then. No point making the change early, I don't think. But yeah, he's had a great season at United so far, and the who scored ratings have really favoured him. So I think he would be a good option if he does start. And then I'm not actually familiar with him, so this on this left wing they've got predicted lineup. They've got Leao. I don't know much about him, but I had a little look on who scored, and he's got 7 goals and 6 assists for AC Milan this season. So it could be quite dangerous, but he's 4.5 million again. So yeah, don't know how much value for money that would be, but I'd probably go for Bruno Fernandes myself. And then on to the Brazil game, which is one that I think most people have been looking forward to. Especially with quite a lot of the big teams looking a little bit weaker than we probably expected, like Germany and Argentina. Brazil probably were my favourites to win. I think I did a predictor and I had France and Brazil to get to the final, which could still be the case. But obviously Neymar, you've got to be looking to target him really at 7 million. I've been doing a tactic where I sort of rotate my premium strikers. So I did Harry Kane out for Mbappe. I'm going to do Messi for Neymar. That's how I'm trying to target my transfers at the moment. But he's got 13 goals and 11 assists for PSG this season. And in the sort of recent friendlies for Brazil, he's had 4 goals and 1 assist in 4 games. So pretty good return from him. And I think he's probably going to be the best one to target. Looking at the back line though, I thought Militao was a really good centre-back. But it does seem every sort of preview I see, it's saying Thiago Silva and Marquinhos. And they're both 5.5 million, so really quite expensive. Probably the most expensive centre-backs in the game, I'd imagine. But no doubt they'll probably score really well, especially if they go deep into the knockouts. It could be worth sticking with them nice and early. But their group is a little bit tough, so yeah, I'm not sure I'll go there straight away. I'd be looking more at their fullbacks. So they've got Danilo and Sandro showing on this predicted lineup, and then I think Sandro's 4 million, but I've highlighted Telles and Danilo were both 3.5. So if you can get one of those 3.5 fullbacks for Brazil, I think that's a really good value. I imagine they'll be quite attacking as well. And then something I highlighted in a more recent video is that having a 5.5 slot I think is quite handy. So I think it was Lautaro Martinez was 5.5. But if you have got that slot, it's quite good that you can bring in either Richarlison, who they think are going to start, or Gabriel Jesus, who could be his competition. But Richarlison's got 3 goals in his last 2 games for Brazil. But another part is that he has only just come back from injury. I think he's played like 1 game since coming back for Spurs. So yeah, I'm not quite sure who they'll go with. But whoever's up front for Brazil, it's going to be a pretty good option. And then Paqueta, so you'll see a bit later, I've got him in a couple of my teams. He started the last 6 games for Brazil. In each game he has been subbed. He's got quite a good record for returns for Brazil. But when I did look into it, he's been subbed every game that he's played. So they stick with him and he's likely to start. But yeah, I imagine around that sort of 60th, 70th minute, he'll probably go off. And then the only one I'm quite surprised about in this predicted lineup who's not on there is Vinicius Jr. He's not in the predicted lineup there. I probably would have thought he'd be in that Rafinha spot, but he's got 10 goals and 4 assists this season. He's 6 million and he's 20% selected, 27% selected on Dream Team. So there's going to be a lot of people unhappy to use a transfer if this predicted lineup is correct. But I have a feeling he'll start unless there's some sort of injury that I don't know about. Then just moving on to my team update then. So this is just the team that I'm putting in all the vlogs. So I'm doing the full 5 teams, but I'm just going to keep showing you this one on my daily updates. So it's 17 points for the day, 63 points in total. I've only used 4 transfers so far with this team. And today's transfers, I used 2. So I brought in, once I saw the lineups, I took out Emi Martinez and Molina from Argentina. Obviously that didn't go well for them earlier. And then I brought in Alba, the left back for Spain, and Simon, the goalkeeper. So he got 5 points, which I was fairly pleased with. I think he got a high 6 rating, so didn't get the 7, but we'll take it. And then Alba was really good, so he got the points for 2 assists, the rating and the clean sheet points. So 12 points is a really good return from a defender. So yeah, happy with those. Obviously Shaw, Trippier, Ake didn't play today, but I didn't really want to move those out yet because their games are coming up quite fast. So I'll probably stick with those guys. Then I've got Paqueta, who will play tomorrow. Perisic, I was really disappointed at Perisic and Højbjerg, to be honest, yesterday. I thought they might deliver, but I'll probably be looking to move them on, really. And then obviously Messi, Mbappe and Gakpo didn't play. So not many players playing today, but those 2 late transfers for me, bringing in Alba and Simon, definitely paid off. Big guy that didn't go for a Belgian defender, but I just didn't want to use too many transfers. So it probably did help me in the in the overall rankings and in the mini leagues, but I was fairly happy with how the day went. And then tomorrow, so transfers that I'll be looking to make, I'm probably going to move Mbappe to Neymar with the intention on bringing Mbappe back in. And then potentially I might look to bring in a Brazil defender, like I said, so maybe one of the wing backs when I find out who's starting. And I know he returned really well with the 12 points. I think it will be probably Alba that I take out. Just like I said, Trippier, Ake and Shaw are likely to play before Alba, so I'll probably just keep them in. So that's everything for this episode. Thank you for watching. If you want to get kept more up to date with World Cup Sun Dream Team content, please do like and subscribe to the channel below. And if you're listening on Spotify as well, please do give us a follow on there. Cheers, bye.